Hello, it is Foundation Friday, December 7th, 2018. Steve Sipress here in the midst of a spectacular Christmas light display. We're heading over to a Christmas party in the neighborhood, and it is an ugly sweater party. And since I don't own an ugly sweater, I own a couple of sweaters, they're not really ugly, and I never wear them anyway, I just wore my typical ugly red Hawaiian shirt. What do you know? Not exactly in the festive Christmas spirit, but I wasn't going to go buy an ugly sweater just for the ugly sweater party. Speaking of which, that's today's foundational tip, and we'll keep it short and sweet so I can head into the party. As I pan around, by the way, so you can see some of the lights that are in front of me and now behind me. Oh, and now I'm all lit up by the Christmas lights that are now in front of me. How cool is that? Anyway, there's a saying that shark marketers know that ugly sells. And that, of course, there are exceptions. So it depends. If you are in a business where you are marketing, advertising, selling something that is image-oriented, then of course you don't want to make it ugly. So let's say that you are a graphic designer. Then of course you don't want to say, here's some samples of my work and they're all ugly. That would be silly. But if you are an expert, then ugly sells. So for instance, well, in fact, here's an example right here, this ugly sweater. People love ugly sweaters. They stand out from the crowd. So that's one reason ugly sells. It cuts through the clutter. So I was famous when I spent 3.5 years with a Yellow Pages publisher for submitting ads to the, quote, art department that were completely unartistic and ugly. And the ad designers hated them. And they told me straight out, oh, I hate your ads. They always violate all the rules of proper ad design and all that stuff. And you think that was by accident? That's for a reason, of course. Because, of course, my ads were the most successful in the history of the Yellow Page Company. And I had all the tracking number reports to prove it. Chad Powers is here. Great seeing you, Chad. Merry Christmas. And so that's one way to stand out from the clutter. Everyone else has the typical well-centered, proper-looking whatever ad. My ad came out and was off-center and had all kinds of strange things going on. And, you know, according to the ad designers, it was, quote, ugly. That means it stood out from the crowd. Other ways that you can promote yourself as far as being ugly, selling better, is online, on the web. So if people are clicking around to web pages of all your competitors and they all look the same because they're all fancy and got the right photos and colorful and all that kind of stuff, and then yours is just a plain site that is fairly ugly, it's going to stand out from the crowd. Now you have to do this right. You don't want to be ugly just for the sake of being ugly. So when I say ugly, I mean starkly contrast with the ones that are full of bells and whistles. So it shows that you don't need bells and whistles to sell. You've got content that sells. Perhaps the best example of all time, go to a website, you might never heard of it. It's very obscure, and it's an expensive service because it contains a lot of knowledge. It's called Google.com. And if you go to the website Google.com, which I am being facetious, of course, it's free and ubiquitous, you will see it is simply the word Google and a box. And maybe it says search or something, and that's it. Okay, and Google became the most powerful search engine in the world, one of the most powerful websites there has ever been. And it is certainly the ugliest website it could possibly be. A page with the name Google, which doesn't mean anything, and a box. Okay, so think about that. Next time you're doing your selling, your advertising, or marketing, understand that done right, ugly sells. And if you had an ugly sweater at this party tonight, you might even win a prize to prove it, which I will not win because I don't own an ugly sweater. And I was not going to wear a normal-looking sweater because that would lose. Just like in your advertising, selling, and marketing. If you're just going to look normal, you're likely going to lose. That's it for Foundation Friday. Thanks to everyone being here live, watching on the replay. I'll be back tomorrow on Social Media Saturday, and I will catch you then. Over and out from beautiful Christmas light land. Merry Christmas, everyone. Good night.